said, "Come wander with me, love. Come wander with me away from this sad world. Come wander with me."
Diet Coke cans made from the Titanic. Written by Alexander Mercer. Read by Alexander Mercer. Part 1. Cabin. Anna, my wife of 3 days, looked into the dark, endless ocean before her with a gentle, newlywed glow. The black water collapsed upon the incredible megalith of the ship as it sliced through the waves like a newly sharpened culinary knife. With 2 celebratory glasses of champagne in hand, I made my way through our rear-facing cabin to its balcony, where she sat on a bench, gracefully smoking a Camel menthol cigarette, mesmerized by the ship's powerful wake. We boarded early in the morning, the day after our ceremony and reception. With smeared wedding makeup, 4 Tylenols, an atrociously large pair of dark sunglasses, and overpacked suitcase, Anna boarded the ship wearing a tastefully mismatched outfit and counterfeit smile. There was something breathtaking about the moment. Seeing my childhood best friend take in the exhaustive introduction of an ocean liner, a girl blossomed through abuse, adoption, and acceptance. Now a sophisticated and successful woman with the world in front of her. She put down her bag and took off her sunglasses amongst the bustling crowd in her plush fur coat, faded Cincinnati Reds hat, stained gray sweatpants, and absorbed the atmosphere of the maiden voyage. The ocean liner, donned with the name My Blue Heaven on its stern and bow, was a magnificent megalith, shadowing the other docked ships into a cold oblivion. And as of July 11th, 1990, the 963 feet, 293.5 meter vessel remains, after its 21-year career, the most innovative and luxurious ship sailing through the transatlantic route. Launched and christened in late 1968 and having its maiden voyage in the summer of '69. Originally the Queen Marie Antoinette, the ship has been renovated from the steam turbine propulsion system to having its own impressive diesel-electric power plant. The Queen was sold 4 different times until it landed in the hands of Rudolph Hamilton, the president and founder of Hamilton Line, a small but highly profitable cruise shipping company. Story has it that when Rudolph first stepped onto the docked ocean liner, as it was being gutted and retrofitted with its new engines during the process of its overall renovation, as he climbed up the steps past the construction workers and investors, he heard Fats Domino's husky voice through the speakers of the small Zenith radio in the corner. The lively piano and horns excited Rudolph. The song opened his eyes, and as he looked into the steel skeleton, he lifted his arms with fists in the air and expressed vivaciously, "That's it! This ship isn't meant to be the fastest blue ribbon winner. It will be cozy and intimate. It will be the warmest place on the ocean. And this is what she will be named." And once she set sail under her new name, people flocked to her like birds going south for the winter. The ship was the home of multiple families, a retired couple, a Catholic missionary family, a widow, and a writer. She sails as an ocean liner across the Atlantic for the first 8 months of the year and a cruise ship during the latter 4. This was the first voyage of the summer of 1991 crossing. She has sailed distinctively for the last 7 years under her new power and name. My blue heaven roared under our feet as I handed Anna one of the chilled champagne glasses. "Thanks, Hellcat," she spoke, as she took the glass before flickering her camel menthol off the balcony. I watched the small cherry ember fall for an eternity until its light had disappeared. I gave a small chuckle and looked at her with widened eyes. "I don't think you're supposed to do that." "Oh yeah? We wouldn't want to start any forest fires," she exclaimed with an inebriated buzz as she pointed to the ocean with her slightly tipped champagne flute. She leaned into me and wrapped my waist around her slender gloved arms. "Smokey the Bear might kill us in our sleep," she said softly, accompanied with a small, pleasurable laugh. Anna and I had room service brought to our cabin, 2 plates of pasta carbonara. With empty plates and newly poured glasses of champagne, I kissed her velvety soft lips as we moved further into the ocean. Anna stood from her seat as a crackle of thunder roared through dark sky. Rain instantly began to fall on us, soaking our clothes and hair. We swiftly ran into our cabin, our plates and silverware clinking into my hands as Anna shut the outside door. I ran with the wet plates as small trickles of water sloshed onto the thin decorative carpet, placed them into the bathroom sink, and took off my dampened shirt. My pants were still moderately dry. After patting dry my hair, face, and torso, I took the lighter and soft pack of cigarettes from my shirt pocket and walked back into the cabin. There, I saw the most magnificent being in existence, laying naked in our bed, only wearing a pair of high-vent orange Nike Air Max 90s. Her long, tan legs were arched and spread, with her slender hands touching herself and grasping onto her thighs. She looked up at me through her dark brown bangs and grabbed her breast. Thunder roared and lightning flashed like white ink on an eternal black canvas as Pollock painted our night sky. My wife opened her thick lips, elongated, and slowly flicked her tongue as I stepped closer to her. She was my muse, and she beckoned me with her wet and glowing body as the warm lamp light embraced her. Anna took an ice cube from the silver champagne bucket and began rubbing it against her vagina. I placed my hands around her waist, plummeted my mouth around her soft breast, sucked her hard nipple, and rubbed it against the edge of my lips. She lifted my face and placed the sweet, melting ice cube inside of my mouth. Another jolt of lightning and crackle of thunder enraptured the night as rain splashed against the balcony door. "Looks like we've angered the bear," Anna said as she unbuckled my belt. I took my pants off and kissed her neck as I laid on top of her. "I want to put it in," she said, placing her hand around my penis. I kissed her and buried my hands into her thick, wet hair as she circled my tip inside the lips of her vagina. We kissed. She pulled me inside of her. She gave a soft moan and rolled her eyes into the back of her head as I pushed myself fully inside and began to thrust. This was the purpose of it all. This. We pledged our souls together, symbolically bound to each other with the wedding bands placed on our fingers. There is an intimacy now that never belonged before. Anna and I have loved each other since childhood. We grew up together and learned to take the rudimentary foundational steps. We had a secret code, a special unspoken vibe that only belonged to us. Drifting apart, we took our steps into the mystery of adulthood alone. She fell in love, I fell in love. We had our hearts broken, and we drifted back together. Now, her beautiful body lay on top of me, our sweat mixing with the rain. I knew most of her spots. She knew the right moves. My hands grabbed her glutes, and we fucked hard and fast. The bedspread had grass stains from her shoes. We had both been working out at the time, and our bodies were in physical overdrive. I had finally lost the layers of fat that had been built up after years of bad dieting. Living and traveling with Anna had changed everything for me and how I viewed myself. I was trim, tight, and filled with testosterone. Anna was at her physical peak. She had always had a tight body from years of ballet. She knew how to measure carbs, calories, and the processes of restraint and recovery. She was my guide, my angel. Anna pulled off of me, licked my newly exposed six-pack, and smiled. "Do you want to try it?" she asked softly. "Definitely," I answered. I stood from the bed, lifted Anna upside down, and held her as she placed her mouth around my penis, and I began to taste her with my tongue. After 45 seconds, neither of us had the strength to carry on, so I placed her back on the bed and kissed her. She pulled me back on top of her and said, "We are getting so much better at that." The storm began to dissipate, and we came to our crescendo. "Tell me," I said with her shoes wrapped around my lower back. "This body is yours forever," she promised me softly. We climaxed with our bodies intertwined. We saw the peak of existence, out of breath and in awe of each other. "I love you," she told me, breathing hard. "I love you," I replied, outstretching my sweaty hand. She high-fived me and we began to laugh. "Good job, home run." "Thanks, that means a lot," I said, laying beside her, wrapping my arms around her chest. Anna pushed me from her, disgusted. "Get off me, you're gross." "That's fair," I joked, kissed her left breast, and jumped from the bed to wash off the rain and sweat. After our few moments of meditative peace and silence in our showers, Anna and I listened to the rain and ocean before falling asleep amongst the other passengers sailing into the darkness.